You've been praying, hoping, and waiting, wondering if what you asked for is ever going to come. There's a powerful saying, what's meant for you will never miss you, and what misses you was never meant for you. This reminds us that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's timing and wisdom are perfect, even when we don't see it. Sometimes the signs that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is preparing you for what you've prayed for are subtle. They come in ways you might overlook. What if, instead of asking why it hasn't arrived yet, you could recognize these signs as they unfold? In this video, we'll explore 5 clear signs that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is preparing you for what you prayed for. These signs aren't just about patience. They reveal the journey that Allah is guiding you through to ensure you're ready to receive what you've been asking for. So before we start, take a moment to tune in with an open heart and mind. These signs might be exactly what you need to see the bigger picture in your journey. First sign, you feel yourself growing and changing. One of the clearest signs that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is preparing you for what you've prayed for is when you notice a shift within yourself. Suddenly, things that used to interest you feel less meaningful, and you're drawn to activities, people, and habits that align with a better version of yourself. It's as if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is guiding you to shed old patterns and embrace qualities that will help you receive the blessings you've been praying for. The Quran reminds us, indeed, Allah will not change the condition of a people until they change what is in themselves. This ayah highlights that internal growth and change are essential to unlocking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's blessings. Before giving you what you've asked for, Allah is helping you become the person who's ready to handle it. But growth often requires something difficult: letting go. Letting go means releasing things that no longer serve you, even if they feel comfortable or familiar. It could be old habits, friendships, or routines that hold you back. This doesn't mean abandoning everything you know, but choosing to make space for what's truly meant for you. It's not always easy. Letting go can feel like a loss, but it's really Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's way of making room for the better things He has planned for you. Embrace this process, because each step is bringing you closer to the blessings you've prayed for. Second sign, you're being tested with patience. Another powerful sign that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is preparing you for what you've prayed for is when your patience is constantly tested. Things may feel like they're moving slower than you'd hoped, or you may face delays that feel frustrating. But these moments are not wasted. Allah is teaching you the value of patience, a quality essential for receiving and handling the blessings you've been asking for. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, indeed, Allah is with the patient. This ayah is a reminder that patience is more than just waiting. It's about trusting Allah's plan and timing. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam also said, there is no Muslim who is afflicted with harm, but that Allah will remove his sins as the leaves fall from a tree. Think about that image. Just as leaves fall naturally from a tree, each moment of patience removes some of our burdens, cleansing us spiritually. This hadith shows that patience isn't just about enduring difficulty, it's about becoming lighter, stronger, and closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through the process. But why does Allah test even those who seem to do everything right? Remember, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not testing you because He hasn't heard your prayers. He's testing you because He sees your potential to grow stronger. Those who strive to stay on the right path are tested because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to elevate their status and reward them in ways beyond what we can see in this life. And if you ever wonder why others seem to have blessings fall into their laps, remember that Allah has a unique path for each of us. The delays you're experiencing may be blessings in disguise, allowing you to receive something even greater at the perfect time. Patience is not just waiting, it's active trust in Allah's wisdom and plan. plan. Third sign, doors are closing for things not meant for you. One of the clearest signs that Allah is preparing you for what you've prayed for is when certain doors in your life start to close. Maybe there was a job, a relationship, or an opportunity you were hoping for, but suddenly it's out of reach. It can feel disappointing, but what if this is Allah's way of protecting you from what isn't meant for your journey? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, "And it may be that you dislike something while it is good for you, and you like something while it is bad for you. Allah knows, and you do not know." This ayah reminds us that our perspective is limited. We may see something as a loss, while Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sees it as a redirection towards something far better. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam also said, "You will never give up something for the sake of Allah, but that Allah will replace it with something better." This hadith shows us that when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala removes something from our lives, He is clearing space for what's truly beneficial. Now you might wonder, if something isn't meant for me, why did Allah allow me to desire it so deeply? Sometimes the longing we feel for certain things is part of Allah's way of guiding us to discover our own values, strengths, and weaknesses. The journey toward that desire helps us grow, even if the destination changes. Another question many people have is, why do I see others, even non-believers, achieving the things I'm praying for while I'm being redirected? Remember, what may look like success for others isn't always a blessing. Sometimes it's a test. Allah has unique paths and timings for each of us, and what appears to be a delay or a no might be the biggest blessing we could receive. Each closed door is Allah's way of saying, "Trust me, I have something better in store." So if you're facing closed doors right now, take it as a sign that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is guiding you towards something greater than you might have imagined. Fourth sign, you're developing a sense of inner strength and resilience. One powerful sign that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is preparing you for what you've prayed for is when you start to notice a growing sense of inner strength and resilience. You may be facing challenges that would have overwhelmed you in the past, yet somehow you find yourself handling them with more patience, courage, and faith. This isn't a coincidence. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is building your inner strength to prepare you for the blessings and responsibilities that come with what you've been asking for. The Quran says, "So do not weaken and do not grieve, and you will be superior if you are true believers." Allah is reminding us that believers possess an inner strength that can help them rise above their challenges. This resilience is a sign that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is shaping you for what's to come. Some might wonder, why does Allah test me in ways that make me feel so exhausted and worn down? But consider this, just as a muscle becomes stronger through resistance and exercise, your soul becomes stronger through trials. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "The strong believer is better and more beloved to Allah than the weak believer, while there is good in both." This hadith tells us that building strength isn't always easy, but it brings you closer to Allah and readies you for His blessings. Another question that often comes up is, why is it that as I grow stronger, it feels like the challenges only increase? This is because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows your capacity and only places upon you what you can handle. As you grow, so does your ability to overcome bigger obstacles. Each challenge prepares you for the next, making you resilient and capable of handling the blessings you've prayed for. If you're finding this newfound strength within yourself, take it as a sign that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is preparing you to receive what you've been asking for. Each struggle is building you into someone who is ready for greater things. Fifth sign, you're finding moments of unexpected clarity and peace. One of the clearest signs that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is preparing you for what you've prayed for is when you begin to experience moments of clarity and peace, even in the midst of challenges. You might notice that despite difficulties, there are moments where everything makes sense, where you feel at ease, or where your heart finds peace. These aren't random. They're glimpses of the comfort Allah has planned for you. The Quran says, "He it is who sent down tranquility into the hearts of the believers that they may grow in faith along with their present faith." Allah grants believers tranquility as a way to strengthen their iman, showing them that His guidance is always near, even during trials. Now, many people often ask, if Allah is guiding me, why do I still feel anxious and uncertain at times? It's natural to feel these emotions, but these moments of clarity and peace are Allah's way of reminding you that He's with you. They may be brief, but they're a sign that He's leading you to something better and giving you reassurance along the way. Another common question is, why does it feel like peace only comes in bits and pieces rather than staying with me? Think of it as a reminder from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to stay connected with Him. These moments of peace are there to reassure you, but they also invite you to keep turning to Allah for guidance and support. The more you connect with Him, the more you'll find peace becoming a constant companion. So when you experience these moments of tranquility, take them as signs that Allah is guiding you toward what you've prayed for. He is preparing you for something meaningful, and these moments are glimpses of the peace He has planned for you. In life, we may not always understand the journey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala takes us on when we pray for something deeply. But as we've seen, the waiting period and these subtle signs are not without purpose. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in His infinite wisdom, prepares us step by step for the blessings He has planned. Each closed door, each moment of patience, and each sign of strength is part of His guidance, shaping you into the person who is ready to receive what you've been asking for. The Quran reminds us, "And whoever relies upon Allah, then He is sufficient for him. Indeed, Allah will accomplish His purpose." Trust in Allah's plan is key. He knows what you need even better than you do. He hears every prayer, sees every tear, and recognizes every effort. When the time is right, the blessings you've been waiting for will come, and they'll be even greater than you imagined. Before we end, I've noticed that many of our viewers are still watching without subscribing. If you found value in this content, I encourage you to subscribe to the channel. Your support allows us to continue creating more content like this, and it ensures that you won't miss future videos that can guide and inspire you. And if you enjoyed this video, please like it. Together, we can spread these messages of hope and guidance, helping more people find strength and peace in Allah's plan.